Listen to the announcer. I want you guys to listen.
So the call here initially, no good, but I think they're going to review it.
Now, this is Caitlin Clark talking to the referees. Guess who immediately comes behind Caitlin? Comes behind her. Don't this look like a familiar scene? This looked very familiar. This is Breon January, the coach that's always in the drama when it's involving Caitlin Clark. This is exactly who this is. Come out of the clear blue sky, poof, she appears. Breon January is right there. Now watch the rest of the clip.
Watch that sequence again. Caitlin Clark is talking to the referees about a potential buzzer beater at halftime. Normal player-ref interaction, but then Brianna Janari appears. She comes up behind Clark, shadowing her during what should be a routine conversation. And the body language tells you everything you need to know. This isn't a coach supporting her player. This is surveillance. This is control, and fans noticed immediately. The Indiana Fever wrapped up their 2024 season, and while Caitlin Clark's rookie year shattered every expectation, there's a pattern that's been building all season long, a pattern that centers on one assistant coach. Brianna Janari has been at the center of controversy after controversy involving Clark, and what started as isolated incidents now looks like something much more deliberate.
It is pure entertainment and skill. Third in the league in scoring.
So that was the scene that happened at the conclusion of the first half. Now, many fans online did notice this. One being White Gold. White Gold stated this on Twitter during the game. He stated, bro, why is Breon January shadowing Caitlin Clark? She's not even playing. Just because she's having a convo with the refs about Lexi Bucket, Jesus Christ. Somebody else said, P.O. January, watch on Caitlin. You will be sitting again on some Trump-up charge.
Social media erupted after that halftime moment. One fan account called White Gold posted, "Why is Brianna January shadowing Caitlin Clark? She's not even playing just because she's having a conversation with the refs about Lexi Hull's bucket. Jesus Christ." Another user wrote, "What, is Caitlin about to be benched again on some trumped-up charges?" The responses reveal a fan base that's lost trust in the coaching staff's treatment of their franchise player. But here's what makes this significant. This wasn't an isolated moment. Throughout the 2024 season, every time there's been drama involving Caitlin Clark and the coaching staff, one name keeps appearing in the background, Brianna January, and the incidents aren't random. They follow a clear pattern of undermining, controlling, and sabotaging the league's most transformative player.
There is a collage that we are going to put together involving none other than Breon January. So, these are some of the posts from Breon January. Now, this is from May. This was back in May, right? Two-time runner-up Caitlin Clark and WNBA assistant coach Breon January shares a quick moment on the bench. We all remember this, right? Oh, yes, we all remember this, right? Look. It's always something. Breon January, I believe she played for the Indiana Fever.
Let's establish the facts. Brianna January played for the Indiana Fever from 2009 to 2016. During that time, she put together a respectable career. Second all-time in assists for the franchise, third all-time in minutes played, fourth all-time in points scored. These are the records that defined her legacy with the team, her identity as a Fever legend. Now here's where it gets complicated. Caitlin Clark arrived in Indiana in April 2024 as the #1 overall pick. Within 6 months, she'd already broken multiple franchise records. The assist record that January held for nearly a decade? Gone. The minutes played record? Shattered. The scoring achievements? Clark blew past them before the All-Star break. Every statistical milestone that defined January's career was being erased in real time by a 22-year-old rookie.
Breon January in the mix, bruh. I ain't lying. Look, and then they'll pull out clips like this, but this was from last year. So this was from last year. Now, I do want to let y'all know Breon January is the same coach that stepped on Caitlin Clark's ankle and messed up her ankle, the reason why she could not finish the season last year. And then we got, just a week ago, Sophie Cunningham saying this. Sophie Cunningham saying this on our podcast.
We are not going to win very many games when people score 100 points on us, and they average, I think, around 80 points, and we let them score like 111. Our defense is...
Think about that dynamic for a second. You spend 7 years building a legacy. You retire as one of the franchise's all-time greats. Your records stand for nearly a decade. Then you return as an assistant coach, and within months, a rookie obliterates everything you accomplished. Not just breaks your records, but makes them look pedestrian. That's not easy to watch, and for some people, it's impossible to accept with grace. The Fever brought Janere back as an assistant coach in 2023, 1 year before drafting Clark. She was supposed to be a developmental coach, someone who understood the franchise culture and could help young players adjust to professional basketball. Instead, she's become the common denominator in every coaching controversy that's plagued this team. And the evidence suggests it's not coincidental.
Just a week ago, Sophie Cunningham saying this. Sophie Cunningham saying this on our podcast.
We are not going to win very many games when people score 100 points on us, and they average, I think, around 80 points, and we let them score like 111. Our defense is horrible, and I think everyone knows that.
Guess who runs the defense, everybody? Breon January. Guess who's been with Stephanie White the whole way? Breon January. Do you guys see a similar photo here? Because I definitely see a similar picture. This is the sabotage like no other, bro. This is the sabotage like no other. I can promise you. Breon January is the cancer in the locker room and the cancer within the coaching staff. She is.
Let's walk through the timeline. During Clark's final college season at Iowa, there was a moment that went viral. Janere and Clark had what appeared to be a cordial interaction on the bench during a May 2024 game. The league even promoted it on social media. Two-time runner-up Caitlin Clark and WNBA assistant coach Brianna Janere share a quick moment on the bench. It looked friendly. It looked supportive. It was perfect PR. But that image doesn't match what happened behind the scenes. Because just weeks into Clark's rookie season, the problems started. Questionable rotations, defensive schemes that left Clark exposed, bizarre substitution patterns that pulled her during crucial moments, and every time fans questioned the coaching decisions, Janere's fingerprints were all over them. Here's a detail most people missed. Janere runs the defensive schemes for Indiana. She's the defensive coordinator. So when Sophie Cunningham went on a podcast just last week and said, "We are not going to win very many games when people score 100 points on us. The average, I think, is around 80 points, and we let them score like 111. Our defense is horrible, and I think everyone knows that." She was directly criticizing Janere's work. The starting point guard just publicly stated that the defense, Janere's responsibility, is horrible. That's not a minor complaint. That's a fundamental failure.
Oh, this is why she hate Caitlin Clark. So she was second all-time in assists, second all-time in steals, third all-time in minutes played, fourth all-time in points. Oh! Breon January is one of the the franchise most dynamic players, and she's returning to Indiana as an assistant coach. Oh! It makes sense now. Caitlin's breaking all her damn records. Oh, she's gonna be one behind Caitlin. Whoa! Is this why she hate Caitlin? I think I cracked the Da Vinci Code. Damn!
But the defensive failures are just one piece of this puzzle. There's a more personal element that makes this situation toxic. During the 2023 season, before Clark arrived, January accidentally stepped on Clark's ankle during a game between Iowa and the Fever's training staff. The injury was severe enough that Clark couldn't finish the college season properly. An assistant coach, someone who should be protecting players, caused an injury to the player who would become her franchise cornerstone 1 year later. Accident or not, that's a terrible foundation for a coaching relationship. Fast forward to the 2024 WNBA season. The incidents started piling up. There was the time Clark was benched for extended periods despite playing well. The games where she was pulled during fourth quarter comebacks. The defensive rotations that consistently left her defending players 6 inches taller. Each decision, when isolated, could be explained away, but together, They form a pattern, and that pattern points directly at January.
From Breon January. Now this is from May. This was back in May, right? Two-time runner-up Caitlin Clark and WNBA assistant coach Breon January shares a quick moment on the bench. We all remember this, right? Oh, yes, we all remember this, right? Look. It's always something. Breon January, I believe she played for the Indiana Fever, if I'm not mistaken. And to me, I believe she's jealous of Caitlin Clark. You can't tell me otherwise, bro. I ain't lying to you. Shout out to Venom. Here go
Breon
Venom.
January. Breon, shut it up. Austin, shut it up.
Look.
Look at the fan reactions. These aren't casual observers. These are people who watch every game, who track every rotation, who notice every coaching decision. One commenter wrote, "I legit despise her. It's like an abusive relationship, controlling. It's so weird. I refuse to watch them this season without CC, scummy coaching staff, and organization." Another said, "They're so lame. They all want to play hard when Caitlin isn't playing, but then absolutely play like trash when she plays because they know she'll get all the blame anyway." That second observation is particularly damning, because if you watch the games, there's truth to it. When Clark sits, suddenly the effort level increases. Players who look disengaged with her on the court suddenly find energy, the ball movement improves, the defensive rotations make sense. It's almost as if some players and coaches perform better when she's not there. Which raises an obvious question: are they deliberately underperforming when she plays to make her look bad?
Comes behind her. Don't this look like a familiar scene? This looked very familiar. This is Breon January, the coach that's always in the drama when it's involving Caitlin Clark. This is exactly who this is. Come out of the clear blue sky, poof, she appears. Breon January is right there. Now watch the rest of the clip. Now, this is the play right here.
Go back to that halftime moment. January didn't need to be there. Clark was having a simple conversation with the officials about whether Lexi Hull's shot counted. That's routine. Players talk to refs all the time. But January appeared out of nowhere, positioning herself directly behind Clark, inserting herself into a situation that didn't require coaching intervention. Why? What purpose did that serve except to monitor and control? The optics are terrible. It looks like January doesn't trust Clark to have a basic conversation without supervision. It looks like micromanagement. It looks like someone who needs to assert authority over a player who's already more accomplished, more famous, and more important to the franchise than the coach will ever be. And fans see it. They see the power dynamic. They see the insecurity. They see a coach who's threatened by a player's success. Here's what makes this situation so problematic for the Indiana Fever organization. They can't afford to lose Caitlin Clark. She's not just their best player. She's the reason attendance doubled. She's the reason TV ratings tripled. She's the reason the franchise is suddenly worth hundreds of millions of dollars more than it was a year ago. Clark is the franchise. Everything else is secondary. But they also have Stephanie White as head coach, and White brought January with her. They've worked together for years. They're friends. They're a package deal. So the Fever front office is stuck. Do they protect their generational talent and remove a problematic assistant coach? Or do they support their head coach's staff and risk alienating the player who's transforming women's basketball? The smart move is obvious. You protect Clark at all costs. You remove any obstacle to her success. If that means January has to go, then she goes. No assistant coach, regardless of their history with the franchise, is more valuable than a once-in-a-generation talent who's already rewriting the record books as a rookie. But organizations don't always make smart moves. Sometimes they prioritize loyalty over logic. Sometimes they protect the wrong people, and sometimes they don't act until it's too late, until the damage is irreversible, until the franchise player demands a trade because she's tired of being undermined by her own coaching staff. Think about what Clark has already endured in her rookie season. She dealt with physical targeting from opponents that the league barely addressed. She faced constant criticism from media members who resented her popularity. She handled the pressure of being the face of the WNBA before she'd played a single professional game. She carried an entire franchise on her back while learning a new system, adjusting to a higher level of competition, and dealing with the expectations of millions of fans. And through all of that, she's had to deal with a coaching staff that doesn't seem fully invested in her success. A defensive coordinator whose schemes leave her exposed, an assistant coach who shadows her movements and monitors her conversations, a system that sometimes feels designed to limit her rather than unleash her. The record-breaking speaks for itself. Clark shattered the rookie assist record, destroying the previous mark by over 100 assists. She set new standards for rookie scoring. She became the fastest player in WNBA history to record a triple-double. She did all of this while playing for a team that finished below 500, with a defensive system that ranked among the worst in the league, and with coaching decisions that often defied logic. Imagine what she could do with actual support. Imagine what her numbers would look like if the defensive schemes were competent. Imagine her efficiency if the rotations made sense. Imagine her impact if she had a coaching staff that was fully committed to maximizing her abilities instead of managing her presence. That's the tragedy of this situation. We're watching one of the greatest talents in basketball history being held back by internal dysfunction. We're seeing a generational player succeed despite her circumstances rather than because of them. And we're watching an assistant coach with a clear conflict of interest remain in a position where she can influence the development and usage of the player who's erasing her legacy. The Fever have a decision to make this offseason. They can run it back with the same coaching staff and hope the problems resolve themselves. Or they can acknowledge reality, make the hard choice, and remove the obstacle that's been holding back their franchise player. Because if they don't address this, if they ignore the pattern, if they prioritize coaching staff loyalty over player development, they're gonna lose Caitlin Clark. Maybe not immediately, maybe not next season, but eventually. And when she leaves, when she forces a trade or signs elsewhere as a free agent, the Fever will look back at moments like that halftime interaction and realize they had all the warning signs. They'll see the fan complaints they ignored. They'll remember the defensive failures they tolerated. They'll recognize the pattern they refused to acknowledge, and they'll understand that they lost the most important player in franchise history because they couldn't make the obvious decision to remove a problematic assistant coach. So the question isn't whether Brianna January is undermining Caitlin Clark. The evidence is overwhelming, the pattern is clear, the fan observations are consistent. The question is whether the Indiana Fever organization has the courage to do what's necessary to protect their investment and their future, because right now, they're failing. And every game that January remains on that bench is another game where Clark has to overcome her own coaching staff just to succeed. What do you think the Fever should do? Is this jealousy, incompetence, or something else entirely? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe, because we'll be tracking this situation all off season. The Caitlin Clark era in Indiana is just beginning, but it might not last as long as fans hope if these coaching issues aren't resolved. Let me know if you'd keep January or fire her immediately.